I'm going to record the call so we can share it with the people that cannot attend the call that wanted to be here. So, first of all, I want to thank you, everybody, for accepting the invitation of being part of this Leadership Council this year. I'm very grateful for you to be here today. My name is Luis Alberto Mares Beto. I'm the Director of Community Mobilization Programs at the Latino Commission on AIDS, and therefore I'm the Director of National Latino AIDS Awareness Day. The Latino Commission on AIDS is a relatively small, non-profit, community-based organization founded in 1990 with a national presence and visibility, including Puerto Rico and U.S. territories. We are based in New York City, but we have expanded our services to the southern states and with office in Raleigh, North Carolina, through a program Latinos in the Deep South, to continue developing partnerships, networking, and establishing collaborations with organizations that provide HIV and other health-related services to Latinos in the states of North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana, where we know the epidemic is having an effect, as we also see emerging Latino communities. At the Latino Commission on AIDS, we pride ourselves by putting people and communities at the center of our work. We have been able to establish strong partnerships with a national network of clinical and non-clinical service providers and the community at large to provide trainings, create awareness, and encourage people to take charge of their health by adopting healthy lifestyle changes and becoming aware of how to prevent and seek care for HIV, hepatitis, sexually transmitted infections, and other chronic conditions that are prevalent in many of our communities. The agenda for today, after this, we're going to proceed to the introductions. I would like to know who is the call, your name, your organization, and city and state where you're calling from. I'm going to present a little bit about what NLAAD is, and later we present what happened last year, how the campaign was developed, and what events happened, how many testing kits were developed, and all the things that involve NLAAD. And then we're going to proceed for the most important part of this call, which is requesting your feedback, your input for this year's campaign. Also, I'd like to let you know that here with me is Axel Monroy, the Director of Health Equity at Latino Condition on AIDS. And so let's proceed with the introductions. I would like to know who joined us today. Everybody is on mute, so you can talk.
This is Lisa, and I am the Regional Resource Consultant for the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services for Region 2, overseeing New York, New Jersey, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you.
Who else is here?
This is Moises Cruz and
Carmen Foster. We are from Oakland, California. We work at La Clínica de la Raza.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Raquel Calderón, OASH, Region 1.
Welcome.
John
This
Murphy.
is Audria.
John Murphy?
Yeah, John Murphy, New Mexico Department of Health.
Welcome, John. Audria?
This is Audria from Iris House in New Jersey.
Welcome, Audria.
This is Paul Bolter from the American Liver Foundation, Greater New York Division.
Welcome, Paul.
Thank you.
This is Carly Dean from Boulder County AIDS Project, the bilingual outreach coordinator in Boulder, Colorado.
Welcome, Carly.
Hi, this is Carla Cusar, also from Iris House in Plainfield, New Jersey.
Welcome.
My name is Mark Palmer. I'm with Rayo in DeLand, Florida.
Welcome.
This is Betsy Morales, Hispanic Federation in New York.
Welcome. Somebody's having echo, I don't know. Okay. So everybody introduce themselves. Anybody left?
Cynthia Castro from Arkansas Human Development Corporation at Little Rock, Arkansas.
Welcome, Cynthia.
And Danny Harris from ArtCare, also in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Welcome. Okay. Thank you, everybody. I'm very glad to see representatives from a whole variety of states today here with us, which is, for us, is very important to have representation in different states and from different states in our leadership council. So a little bit about NLAAD. Many of you know what we do with NLAAD. You have had NLAAD events in the past year, and most of you, and that's why I chose from the list of events last year for this call. The National Latino Awareness It's a national community mobilization and social messaging and social marketing campaign that unites the Hispanic community in efforts to raise HIV awareness, promotion of HIV testing, prevention, and education, in addition to other critical health issues such as viral hepatitis, sexually transmitted infections, and tuberculosis. NLAAD was founded in 2003 as a joint effort of the Latino Commission on AIDS and the Hispanic Federation, the devastating impact HIV and AIDS has on the Hispanic Latino communities across the country. It was established to draw attention to the critical role HIV testing and prevention and education plays in stemming the spread of HIV/AIDS among Hispanic Latinos. Some of the posters that were developed through the years, we can see here, this is the first poster that we had, Abre los Ojos, the first campaign in 2003, which was more about creating awareness. I mean, we create awareness every year, but this was like the first time we wanted the Latino community to open their eyes and realize what was happening. And through the years, the message has changed a little bit. It was providing education and information about what's the impact of the epidemic in our community. And later we were working in trying to get the community together and together fight against AIDS, against HIV. And we have implemented more information about new things that happened through the years. Like now we promote PrEP, and we're promoting U equals U this year more. Annually, on October 15, NLAAD mobilizes community-based organizations, leaders of the Latino community, health departments, and elected officials to spread awareness within the Latino community about HIV and AIDS, and bring about improvements in HIV-related health practices by building capacity, developing and disseminating resources, utilizing media channels, and casting the spotlight of Latino faces behind the epidemic. Why October 15? We chose the day because it coincides with the last day of the Hispanic Heritage Month. Okay. So let's talk about what happened last year. Nice. One of the goals of the campaign is to sustain a national network of partners to ensure collaboration, cohesion, and ongoing engagement of new partners. So last year, the launching of the campaign, like we're doing today, was a little bit earlier, on June 14th. We held our 2000 Leadership Council call, and on a few days later, on the 20th, our first network call, which happened next month. There was 33 attendance from different states to the general network call. Later in the campaign, leading up to NLAAD, we delivered 4 webinars. HIV and AIDS among Hispanic Latinos in the U.S. and dependent areas, September 25th, by Gabriela Betancourt, our Deputy Director of Research here at La Comisión. Stigma and HIV-related issues. This was a long webinar. It was provided by Joanne Moore, the Director of AIDS Institute, who spoke about the new laws that happened about HIV and AIDS in New York State, and Rhonda B. Goldstein from the AIDS Law Project, Pennsylvania, who talked about decriminalizing HIV. We have a third webinar on October 10, using social media to make your NLAAD event successful. It was delivered by Judith Montenegro from Latino Deep South, from Latino Commission on AIDS. And finally, on October 20th, we have one about nutrition and HIV. We had a total of 169 attendees to the webinars and 257 registrations. I'm going to mute everybody for a second, and then we'll unmute them.
The conference has been muted.
Okay. So the NLAAD campaign, what we want is like to have events in every state around the day of October 15. So 79 events happened last year, 79 registered events with us, and 36 more take the train, take the test in New York City. So a total of 115 events for NLAAD last year. No? And the states that happen to have more events are the darkest color here is New York and California. And we also have several events in Texas, New Jersey, Florida, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Colorado. And the states that show us why we didn't have any events happening in those states. And we would love to have events in those states this year. What type of events? Latino Commission on AIDS coordinates the NLAAD campaign in a macro level. However, local organizations are the ones who take ownership of their events by planning and organizing them. The Commission provides them with resources such as webinars, HIV testing kits, campaign promotional materials, but the local organizations are encouraged to develop awareness campaigns to address the local epidemic and target audience with culturally appropriate message. So the local organizations know the communities and know how to reach out to them and what event might be more appealable for them. That we have, for example, every event is different. And we have this one, I can't remember what it was, but it was like a food event, a freeze and fry. People went to get to eat and they went to be tested. We had in Newark, New Jersey, a soccer championship. We have in New Mexico Noche Extravaganza, party, dance party. We have just Feria de Salud with Involve Telemundo. We have a panel talking about HIV, developing information on HIV, also in New Jersey, and we have testing awareness campaigns in different parts of the country. So what we like is that every organization plan their own campaign. We provide them support with whatever material they need and they ask for, like basically testing kits and information posters. But it's the local organization that provides the event. They look for funding if they need it and plan a different type of event, whatever they think is going to work with their communities. We also deliver testing kits. We were able to deliver 1,200 testing kits last year to whoever requested them. From the 679 events last year, 86%, 68 in total, had HIV testing as part of the event. And from these 68, 28 requested to be supplied with testing kits, and we send them the testing kits from OraSure and Alere. We also develop posters, both in English and Spanish, and we send them by mail. We send over 1,400 posters to our partners. Another thing that we developed last year, we updated our infographics on fact sheets with information about HIV and AIDS, how it affects our Latino communities and the subgroups within the Latino communities, MSM, people using intravenous drugs, women, transgender women, other people. So we developed a total of 8 infographics, and we made them available on the website, both in English and Spanish, where they can be downloaded and used. Like in this picture, in an event in New Jersey, they downloaded one of the infographics, or several of them, and they use it in their event. That's big posters. So this leads us to the theme. The theme last year, the Superheroes campaign. We started the planning the campaign with the idea of together we will fight AIDS. Together we will fight AIDS will be a team of superheroes. How together as a group, together as a team of what? Team of superheroes to defeat HIV. It takes a team of superheroes to defeat HIV. Why the heroes? Because we think that everybody at a certain time in your life wants to be a superhero. So when it comes to HIV, it can be real. And the NLAAD theme of 2017 was conceived as a call to action that encouraged the Hispanic and Latinos to use their superpowers, such as taking the HIV test, consider PrEP as a prevention treatment, use condom, or remain in treatment. The campaign was to empower regular people, make them superheroes, and ask them to use their superpowers to defeat HIV. As you can see, the people that we use in the poster, the models that were using these superhero costumes, are regular people. We chose from our clients and volunteers. We wanted to show the diversity of the Latino community. Different countries, different skin tones, different genders and sexual orientations. We have this guy from the Dominican Republic, this lady from Venezuela, the third guy from Mexico, and a transgender woman from Peru. So we wanted to empower everybody. We wanted the Latino community to see the poster and be able to identify with any one of these personages. Like we gave them names, we gave them occupations and HIV status and superpowers. So whoever sees the poster can see that, oh, maybe I can identify with this guy or with this lady or this. We wanted anybody to be able to identify with the models. And we create also the small posters to be used in the websites and in the Facebook pages. How we promoted NLAAD? We use Facebook, Twitter, and our website. Of course, we use emails a lot. So in Facebook, we had to update the page that we had been using before, and we saw an increase, a dramatic increase from 0 to 870 activities in our page. So we were very happy with that. And we also reactivated our Twitter account, and we saw by the month of September 2017, getting closer to NLAAD, a total of 4,602 impressions. So we learned that Facebook and Twitter are tools that we can use to promote NLAAD. We also use YouTube. We recorded the webinars and we save them and we share them in our Facebook page. And this year we're planning to share them in our website the same way that we did with NLAAD previously. So the website was completely updated by September 2017. We added a new section. We added a section about condoms that wasn't present in the previous website. We updated the infographics and we added a registration area where you click in the menu registration. It gives you to a page where you can register your event. And that was important because we wanted to know who was doing events and we wanted to promote them in our websites as well. When everybody was finally ready, we launched the campaign officially in September. Even though we started the campaign in June, we launched it officially in September. We sent an email blast to all our partners with information about the website, information about testing kits, and information about how to register their events. We opened the registration in the website. We started to send the testing kits. We mail the posters. We hold the webinars, and we had a press conference on October 11, 2017. The press conference was held in the steps of City Hall in New York City. The press conference, representatives from the New York City Department of Health, members of the City Council, and representatives from several community-based organizations share about the importance of creating awareness about HIV in our community and the role we play in ending the epidemic. We also were able to obtain a proclamation from the mayor of the City of New York, Bill de Blasio. So that's what happened last year with NLAAD. So now we're going to open, I want to unmute everybody.
The conference has been unmuted.
And I would like to ask your input, your feedback about what happened, what you see what happened last year, and what we can do better this year, and how we can have a more activities, more events in the country, and what things you would like to see happen this year. Before doing that, I would like to show you some things that were suggested to us in previous calls, previous years, like we should be inclusive of the diversity of the Hispanic Latino population, and we were able to do that, as you see in our poster. To add PrEP information on the website and the poster, we have done that. Bring the events to targeted communities. Well, we try, and we keep continuing trying to show that in our poster. As you saw, we saw the reason why we used those 4 models, because in the CDC report from the previous year, they showed that it was an increase in the incidence of new cases of HIV in those 4 communities: young MSM, people older than 50 years, transgender women, and women in general. So develop materials in Spanish for Latinos LGBTQ. We do have a bilingual website, and everything we do, the posters and the infographics, we do both in English and Spanish. People didn't like to use the word AIDS, and as last year we changed everything to HIV. For the poster message, they would like to suggest insisting use of condom, which we added also as a website because it has been reported that since the use of PrEP, infections, sexually transmitted infections have risen in our community. So we want to deliver the information about condoms to prevent those things to happen. And They also suggested that we should have things on the website downloadable materials available, and they are. We don't have the new updated ones, but everything from last year is still in the website, and resource kit is there, and that is for every year the same. Raise awareness about PrEP, and we also do that. And people wanted to see more public service announcements on national TV, Univision, Telemundo. Those things didn't happen last year. I think happened in different areas in the country, but not in New York. But we have a presence in magazines, newspapers, and after after the press conference, we had a presence in several websites as well. So, open the floor now about last year. What recommendations, what things you think work, and what would like to be better this year? Hello? What was that? If you are not speaking, I suggest that mute your line and then unmute it when you're going to speak. So, anybody would like to say something about what happened last year?
Hi, yeah, my name is Jesse, and I'm over at Denver, and I was actually wondering, like, I think you guys did a great job, especially with the media campaign portion of it. One thing that I did feel like would have been helpful is for allowing us to send it out in a little bit more of a digital format, to be able to have us alter it or maybe add stuff instead of us having to write in things in blank boxes, and even to be able to use the toolkit for social media. That way we're promoting not only the theme for the day of, but also promoting our own agencies and what specifically we're doing. Like if there was a specific hashtag that we can use along with it, that way everybody sees. If everybody's following it on Facebook, we could all see what all the different locations are doing, and maybe even use some of those ideas to be able to promote our cities and what we do in our cities, make it a bigger event.
Thank you. We do have downloadable posters that we create spaces where you can add your information about your organization. But definitely, we're going to take in consideration what you just said. We're definitely going to create a hashtag this year. I think we created last year was NLAAD 2017. It's going to be NLAAD 2018 this year. But we are taking notes on the suggestions you're saying. Thank you. Anybody else?
Luis, this is Lisette.
Hi, Lisette.
So much for all of the highlights. It was really good to hear everything that the Commission did and all of the successes of last year's NLAAD. One of the things you and I had talked about last year in regards to the webinars was trying to develop an all-Spanish webinar. I think that the Commission does a great job in putting out great educational information and collaborations with other agencies in terms of webinars, but I think what is missing in general is one that is specifically in Spanish or multiple webinars that are in Spanish. I think that that's definitely something that is needed. And I would also say that as a collaborative, as a leadership council, that we can definitely step up and do more to promote the webinars, because a lot of work and effort goes into them. And when we saw the numbers of registrants versus the number of participants, I think that that can be much greater, especially because the webinars are national webinars. The other thing that I just wanted to mention in terms of distributing HIV counseling and testing kits to the organizations that are participating, that it would be great also to hear how many tests were actually done and how many positives were received and how many people were linked to care. It would just be really good to kind of get the whole continuum when we're reporting about HIV testing. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. About the webinar in Spanish, is true. We talk about it, and especially to being able to deliver information to people in Puerto Rico. We didn't have that. Well, hopefully we'll have the one this year. And about the testing kits, I thought about it too when I was doing the report for last year. I noticed that we didn't have the information. So at least from the people that we receive testing kits through us, we can request a report, but I don't know when other organizations have their own kits. Hopefully they will be able to report as well for the NLAAD campaign. Thank you.
Hi, this is Raquel Calderon from Region 1. I just have to say,
Raquel, hold on a second. I think you have your computer and your phone working at the same time. That's why we hear echo. Yeah. Maybe you can use your computer and talk by the phone. Hello? Now?
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. In a region per se, most of organizations that do testing, they do it through Boston Public Health, and they have to do, my computer is off, so I don't know what. Okay, so we can no longer do quick testing because Boston Public Health doesn't allow it unless we get the testing for you, but most of our testers are not allowed to do that because they get paid by Boston Public Health.
Maybe you can write it in the chat box and I will read it when you finish writing it.
Well, I turned off my computer, so I can't write it now.
I don't know why it's doing this now.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, so I was saying that for us in Boston, most of our testers are paid by Boston Public Health, and they will be able to do rapid testing, and this is why it's hard.
Sorry, Raquel, I don't think we can listen what you're saying. Well, the little things that I heard is like you cannot have rapid tests in your events because Boston doesn't allow it or something like that?
Boston Public Health Commission does not allow our testers to do rapid testing.
Oh.
Yeah.
I will look into that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
What is your question, Louis?
We're talking about after presenting what happened last year, what things that we did last year you think work well, or we can add something, or we can change something?
Okay, so I didn't participate last year, so this is my first year. But I have a question. I'm from the American Liver Foundation, so if there's anything around HIV, Hep C co-infection, anything about Hep C, hepatitis B, with the increase of these epidemics, they're affecting everyone. So I just want to know if there's any of that part of any discussions or materials or whatever.
We can add something this year. We usually talk about hepatitis in our NLAAD, which is National Hispanic Hepatitis Awareness Day, which just happened in May, and we have a section there. We talk about co-infection, HIV, and hepatitis. But we can bring it here to HIV as well. We can have a webinar about it. Maybe if somebody here.
I think the importance of it is that the conversation about HIV is such an important one, but we're seeing that we sometimes can't talk about Hep C at the same time because a lot of folks that are co-infected either had HIV first or Hep C first that led to the other transmission of the virus. So in my experience, it's just been part of the same conversation. But I'm open, to figure out how we can help with that. So.
Perfect. I will contact you after this and the following next month. We can plan a webinar on co-infection, hepatitis C, and HIV.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah. All right. Anybody else?
Yes. Hi, this is Carmen from Oakland, California.
Hi, Carmen.
Hi. So I might be wrong. I'm not sure that I have seen something like this, but I don't know about the wording about. I know here in Oakland we now use the Latin instead of or Latina.
Latinx?
Latinx, yes.
Yeah. We called the campaign. We changed that 2 years ago, I think, or 3 years ago. It's National Latinx Awareness Day.
And then the other thing that we are doing here in California is because combining a lot of the efforts around HIV prevention with PrEP. So are you thinking about doing something different with regards of the campaign and so HIV testing and or PrEP or something like that?
We promote, we don't only promote testing. We want people to get tested in the events, but we also, during the campaign, we talk a lot about PrEP and we promote PrEP a lot. And we're going to continue doing that. And hopefully in every event, the organizations that are hosting those events can deliver PrEP information. As I said, we can provide information to the organizations, but it's up to every organization who has events to decide what to do in their event.
Great. Okay. That was mine.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, so let's continue with the planning for this year.
Sorry.
Yes, hello?
Something?
Yes.
This is Cynthia Castro from Arkansas.
Yes, Cynthia.
My agency is also an agency that administrates the program Ventanilla de Salud from the Mexican consulate.
Yes, we know.
All the consulates has also the Ventanilla de Salud, and I think because in the October is or the National Health Week, a really good impact for to add or to contact the consulates and be able to make events in all the consulates around the state.
Perfect. Yes, I know Karina Escamilla from the Consulate of Mexico here in New York. I will talk to her directly to see if we can make that connection. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I recommend you to contact Hosanna Tonda. She's the coordinator from all Ventanillas in the United States.
Jose, what's the last name?
Hosanna Tonda.
Nasconda.
I will send you in the box. Yeah, I will send you the email and the phone number for her.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yep.
All right. So we have to.
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Hi. Yeah, this is Luis Fernando Ramirez from Entre Hermanos in Seattle.
Welcome, Luis.
Yeah. So the thing is that I think that is very important. What I don't remember the name of the one from Oakland, but I think that is a good idea to have really involved the Mexican consulate on October, which is also something else happening here in Seattle with the Latinx community. There is every year with the Latinx community there is a Latinx Health Forum. It's not only for community but also for providers. It is organized by CIMAR, which is an organization where it's a clinic and hospitals that they have it. I think that it's been for the 15 years.
Yeah.
And we can do something there too.
Okay. Could you please send me the information by email after this call?
Yes, I will.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay. So let's proceed with the planning of this year's campaign. As last year we had a superhero campaign, we had to have a campaign this year. We have a team, a slogan. Somebody here in the commission mentioned the first idea is good to know. It's good to know your HIV status. It's good to know your viral load if you're positive. It's good to know if you're undetectable. So what ideas, what slogans can you suggest that we can use in consideration that once we collect all this information, we have a creative department here, graphic designers, who uses the help of an advertising company in New York, and we create the theme and the poster.
Hi, this is Mark out of Florida. Yes. We're going with Stronger with Knowledge is kind of the theme. Our company is rising against all odds. Anything.
A lot of echo. Yeah. But anyway, the idea you presented was Stronger with Knowledge, right?
Stronger with Knowledge.
Perfect. Thank you. Anybody else? Can you provide us any ideas?
Yes.
No.
Luis, I like the idea of what the young man just said about strength and knowledge. Last year, having superheroes of individual identifications all represented strength within their diversity, strength within their communities, strength within their gender. So I think strength is really important, especially for new cases, like people that are newly diagnosed that might feel that they don't have a voice. So I think strength and...
Sorry. Okay.
That's okay. So I feel like the strength and the education, those two words together are really like impactful and can be really built up to, a really great enthusiastic thing.
Okay, so we are here in agreement with the first thing that is here in the slide and what it was proposed about knowledge, education, and strength in that. So we're going to take those information to see what our creative department can come up with.
I want to add one thing about strength. I think that it is a really uplifting word. I keep on thinking about, strength and knowledge, strength and power, and then I'm thinking about it in Spanish and hearing the word fuerza, and to me it just really resonates with me, and I think it'll resonate with others. I want to also put my stamp of approval on that.
Okay.
What is the word that you said?
Fuerza. It's in Spanish.
What is it? Power?
Fuerza means it can be a strength, of course. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
I feel like just to pick.
I know what's happening. I'm very sorry.
Oh gosh. I will send you an email.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I will share the email of anybody. When I finish this, I will send. Okay. So with the idea, we had to create a poster. What would you like to see in a poster? Do you like to see a graphic, people? We're almost done.
I think faces really do speak to people today, and real faces I think is important. I think in the beginning of the epidemic there was a lot of use of like cartoons and stuff like that. What I will say is that I know in last year's campaign there was a lot of diversity, but what I feel like I didn't really see was a person that represented an adolescent. And I think that's important, especially with the high numbers of young people with HIV infection.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if we can get a couple of young people, that would be really great. I would definitely want to see that because I feel like that's an untapped population in terms of kind of the campaigns that I've seen throughout the years. So if we can do something that is youth-based and youth-focused and have, maybe some lingo that is youth-friendly, that would be great.
All right.
And I'm sorry. This is Mark again.
Hi, Mark.
I think with gosh,
let's wait for this. Okay.
I think knowing your status should be part of the slogan also, or like in there somewhere.
Okay.
Stronger with knowledge, but knowing your status.
So, gonna follow webinars. I mean, last year we presented 4 webinars. We are planning to do the same, maybe 5 this year. And I have put this list of possibilities, which Latinos and HIV and AIDS is a webinar that we keep on repeating every year because we updated the information. We might do one again this year. U equals U, I think, is very important this year since last year was something that came up by September, I think, by the CDC. PrEP, we will continue to promote PrEP and HIV update in general and what has happened since the beginning of the epidemic until now. Latinos and health coverage, now that immigration is a very important topic, how these new laws can affect the coverage for health. The end of the epidemic by 2020 of the New York State, and there has been a model that is being applied to different states now and to the entire country. So do you think these topics might be something that we can talk about? And now somebody suggested HIV and hepatitis C co-infection. We're going to add that too. So also, not only to suggest things, but if you know anybody who can provide this webinar, somebody with knowledge about these topics, you can send me an email with that information. So what topics would you like to see in us touching in the webinars? We're going to have one in Spanish this year, we said.
Very good. I would just say that, and this is Lisette again, I would just say that if we cannot have one that really talks about sexual health, that it's important that any presenter comes with that perspective, because I think it's really important as we're moving towards talking a lot about prevention and an emphasis on condom use, even if you are on PrEP. But, what do we need to do to make sex safer and sexier? This kind of sexual health, sexual positivity approach. I think it's really important that we kind of weave that message and language throughout.
All right. Thank you. Anybody else? All right. So after we're going to try to include those suggestions in this webinar. We also wanted to ask you to help us to extend NLAAD to different or more organizations in different states. So if you can share what we have just shared and what you know, what you learn, and promote NLAAD within your network, that would be great. So we can have more events, and as soon as we have everything updated, we will contact everybody again. With this, we're going to finish this call. We're going to put all this information together, and we're going to plan the campaign, and we're going to start doing what we do every year. And our next Leadership Council call will be to present, before we launch the campaign, what the outcome of this is and what we plan to do in the last month of the campaign. Any question, any comment that you haven't shared, you'd like to share with us, this is my contact information. That is my email. That's my phone and my cell phone. You can contact me whenever you can. I want to thank you again very much for being today with us and sharing all this great feedback and information with us. Any last comment? Hello?
No, I appreciate it. This is Mark from Florida, and we look forward to working with you.
Thank you very much. And of course, I would like to see you guys having your own events, and we provide with any type of support that you need from us. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we do have one planned up. We're definitely have one in the planning, and we'll get with you on that one.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much, guys, and we will remain in touch by emails, and we will have another conference call in a month and a half. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend.
You too.